Hey guys, I hope you get ready for our trip aboard the Chief. Captain Chris Randall is going to talk a little bit about the gear you need for this day-and-a-half trip.
This is one of several different configurations you can use. I've got a 4.0 reel. How heavy is this one here?
That one's 10 ounces.
This is a 10 ounce. This is perfect for jigging on the bottom. And typically we tip this with stripped up frozen squid, or on the single hooks we can use a sardine, but we'll get into that in a little bit. This is a little bucktail. These things are really neat because they have a lot of fur on it. If your piece of squid does come off, it still attracts fish because it's still moving around. You got the heavy jig on the bottom for the big reds and the lingcods, and you just simply drop this down to the bottom, hit the bottom, come up 3 or 4 turns, and just lift it up and down every now and then, just jig it away. And you can catch all kinds of fish on this. This is one of my more fun ways to fish the bottom. It's a lot less work, and you get rewarded with some really nice fish.
Yeah, and you're targeting the big fish with iron.
Right, because you're fishing a big iron, so you're not going to get the little flea cods and stuff. But this is just one configuration, and like I said, you can fish up to 4 hooks in Mexico. And we're going to show you another rig here. This is more of our traditional rock cod setup, and this one here has a little bit longer handle. And the advantage of that is now you're fishing with a 1-pound sinker, and it's a little heavy. There's times if the wind is up, you might have to fish with a 2-pound. So what you want is a longer handle to make it a little easier to wind up. Now the key to this setup is from your sinker to the bottom swivel, you have 30-pound test. The main line is 50. So if you get stuck, you just lose the sinker, and if you have a couple fish on here, you still get your gangion back and the fish. Like I said, this is a 3-hook setup. This is what I like. 4 gets a little long from top to bottom to get it up and over the rail, but 3 works really well. And I always put the sardine on the bottom for the big lingcods, and then strip bait and squid on these 2 here. And same thing, you drop down, hit the bottom. The key to this though is you're drifting along, the bottom contour is changing. Every couple of minutes you got to wind up, re-drop to the bottom. As soon as you hit that bottom, come up 3 or 4 turns, and you're just going to work your way up and over the rocky stuff. If you drag it along, you know what happens.
Well, you're going to be using that breakaway all
right,
day long.
You're going to go through a lot of sinkers.
And they will sell you sinkers. That's not a
problem.
problem.
Oh yeah, no, we actually hand tie these ganyons. Some of the store-bought ones, the hooks are really close together, and these shrimp flies work really well as you do the bucktails.
Right, and you want to have the shrimp flies or the bucktails far enough apart so if you hook a nice big 5-6 pound red or something, that they're not so close that the fish can't see the next one. You want them spaced enough so you can get those fish.
And you also want enough distance where the hooks don't touch each other, because what will happen is they'll actually hook themselves to each other like this, and you're not fishing anymore. So you want it not too far, not too close. And that's your standard bottom rig. Now we're going to move on to our lingcod special. This is it for the serious lingcod angler. Got a 4-aught, a nice big hook, 7-aught hook. These lingcod, their mouths are this big, so I
don't think you can use a hook too big for lingcod.
I don't, maybe a gaff hook. But you see the loop here now is really long. You don't want to do this on the ganyons because you get tangled up. This is going to be one sardine just dinking, the sinker's on the bottom, and this sardine just going to be bouncing along right in that strike zone for the lingcod. And this is basically, you can't catch other rockfish on it, but it's designed to target the big lingcod.
Yeah, no, I've gotten some big reds that way too.
Yeah, you can, because the reds look like the sardines too. But that's your standard rig, just one dropper loop and a 10-ounce torpedo, 12-ounce torpedo, and away you go.
The sardine works good like Chris says, but if we happen to have some live mackerel on the bait, that's probably even better.
Mackerel's even better. The bigger the bait, the better for the lingcod.
Yep.
Okay.
And then this last rig, Chris?
Yeah, this is a bucktail for jigging on the bottom. Same thing. You can tip it with some squid,
right.
And same thing. You just doink it on the bottom. The neat thing about these, they don't get caught in the bottom so much because they have a round head, and they actually doink up and down. So you're just going to work this across the bottom, hit the bottom, come off the bottom, and it also, because of all the feathers, it has that good wavy action, and they work really well. And it's all in one.
Right. And this is a B52 bucktail. This is a 6-ounce model. We sent you coupons already where you can get 20% off the Magic Metal jigs and the B52 bucktails. So use that coupon. Make sure you have plenty of tackle with you. When you're rock fishing like this, fishing that really rocky structure, you're going to lose some tackle just because of all the rocks and the valleys out there. Those rock piles, they get kind of high real quick. You don't see them. And you're fishing down that deep, you're going to hook some structure. That's all part of this type of fishing. So have plenty of gear with you.
And you can lose it for 20% off.
So those are good tips, Chris. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right, so make sure you're here on Friday the 16th. I want to be here by 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, we're leaving with or without you. We're going to go catch some quality fish.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, thanks again.
All right.
Okay, we'll talk to you real soon.